Why do people with genius-level IQs sometimes go broke while a janitor quietly retires with $8 million in the bank? The answer has nothing to do with intelligence and everything to do with behavior. Today, we're breaking down one of the most important books on personal finance you'll ever encounter, The Psychology of Money. Here's the thing about money. We study spreadsheets, we calculate returns, we obsess over the latest investment trends. But most financial decisions aren't made on a spreadsheet. They're made at the dinner table, late at night, in moments of fear or greed or impatience. That's why two people with the same income can end up in completely different financial situations. One retires early, the other works until they can't anymore. This book doesn't give you stock tips or get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, it reveals how human psychology shapes every financial decision we make, and why understanding that is worth more than any formula. Let's explore the ideas that can change how you think about money forever. Let's start with a truth that nobody wants to hear. Being smart with money has almost nothing to do with how intelligent you are. A genius with a high IQ and a finance degree can still make catastrophic decisions, buying at the peak, panicking during a downturn, or spending to impress people they don't even like. Meanwhile, someone with no formal education can build serious wealth by doing a few simple things consistently, spending less than they earn, avoiding debt, and letting time do the heavy lifting. Think about Ronald Read. He was a janitor and gas station attendant in Vermont, never earned a big salary. But when he died, his estate was worth over $8 million. How? He lived frugally. He invested in blue-chip stocks. He never sold. He let compounding work for decades. Contrast that with people who earn six figures but live paycheck to paycheck, buried in car payments and mortgages they can barely afford. The difference isn't intelligence, it's behavior. And behavior is shaped by your experiences, your emotions, and your relationship with money, none of which show up on a balance sheet. Here's what matters. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You need to be the most disciplined. You need to control your impulses. You need to stay calm when everyone else is losing their minds. Financial success is less about what you know and more about how you behave. We have a strange obsession with looking rich. Big houses, luxury cars, designer clothes, expensive vacations posted on social media. But here's the paradox. The things we associate with wealth are often the exact opposite of actual wealth. Real wealth is invisible. Wealth is the nice car you didn't buy, the designer watch you didn't wear, the upgrade you didn't purchase. Wealth is financial assets that haven't been converted into the stuff you see. It's the money sitting in investments, growing quietly in the background, giving you options and freedom. Someone driving a $100,000 car might be rich, or they might be broke with a massive loan. You can't tell the difference by looking. The only thing you know for sure is that they have $100,000 less than they did before they bought it. Meanwhile, the person driving a 10-year-old Toyota might be building serious wealth because they're saving the difference, investing it, and letting it compound. This distinction is critical. Being rich is about current income. Being wealthy is about future freedom. Rich is a high salary and a lifestyle that matches it. Wealth is what you accumulate when you don't spend everything you earn. Most people want to be wealthy, but they spend their time trying to look rich. If you want actual financial security, you have to become comfortable with invisible wealth. Money you don't spend, opportunities you protect, freedom you build in silence. There's a dangerous trap waiting for anyone who achieves financial success. It's called never enough. You hit your goal and immediately move the goalposts. You make $1 million, but now you want 5. You get the promotion, but now you compare yourself to someone higher up. This treadmill destroys people. There are billionaires who've lost everything because they risked what they had to get what they didn't need. Take Bernie Madoff. He was already rich. He ran a legitimate, successful business, but it wasn't enough. He wanted more. So he built a Ponzi scheme and ended up in prison, legacy destroyed. Or consider all the investors who had solid returns but got greedy, chasing higher gains in risky bets, only to lose it all. The hardest financial skill isn't building wealth. It's knowing when to stop. Enough doesn't mean you lack ambition. It means you understand the difference between what you need and what your ego wants. It means recognizing that some risks aren't worth taking, not because you can't afford the loss, but because you've already won the game that matters. Once you have enough to be comfortable, secure, and free, why would you gamble it for a bigger house? You don't need or status. You'll never fully satisfy. Here's the shift. Instead of asking, how can I get more? Start asking, what do I actually need to live a great life? That number is probably smaller than you think. And once you hit it, protect it fiercely. Enough is a superpower because it lets you step off the treadmill and enjoy what you've built. Let's talk about what money actually buys. It's not stuff, not status, not even security really. The highest dividend money pays is control over your time. Think about it. Why do people want financial independence? So they can stop doing things they don't want to do, so they can wake up without an alarm, so they can spend time with people they love, work on projects that matter, or simply do nothing if that's what they need. Money gives you options, and options give you freedom. The ability to say no to a job you hate, to take a month off without worrying, to help a family member in need, to walk away from a toxic situation. This is the ultimate return on investment. Warren Buffett is one of the richest people on the planet. But when asked about his greatest asset, he didn't mention his stocks or his businesses. He said, I can do what I want every day. That's it, full control over his time. Most people spend their entire lives trading time for money and then spend that money on things that don't actually give them more time or freedom. They work overtime to afford a bigger house, which comes with a bigger mortgage, which forces them to keep working overtime. It's a cage disguised as success. Here's the better approach. Build your life around buying time, not things. Save aggressively so you can work less. Invest consistently so your money works while you sleep. Make career choices that prioritize autonomy over status, because in the end, the wealthiest people aren't the ones with the most money. They're the ones who control their time. No one knows what's coming. Not economists, not billionaires, not you, not me. The future is uncertain. Markets crash, jobs disappear, health emergencies happen. Markets crash, jobs disappear, health emergencies happen. This is why the single most important financial strategy is simple: leave room for error. It's not sexy, it won't make you rich overnight, but it will keep you in the game. Room for error means not spending every dollar you earn. It means keeping an emergency fund even when nothing's wrong. It means avoiding debt that leaves you fragile. It means investing in a way that lets you survive the worst-case scenario. Think of it as a buffer, a margin of safety. Financial shock absorbers. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, the people who survived weren't the ones with the best investment strategies. They were the ones who could hold on, who didn't panic sell, who had enough cushion to weather the storm. The ones who were over-leveraged, stretched thin, living paycheck to paycheck. They got wiped out. Your plan doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be resilient. Save more than you think you need. Invest conservatively enough that a downturn won't ruin you. Assume that things will go wrong because they will, and plan accordingly. Room for error is what separates people who build lasting wealth from people who gamble and lose. So how do you actually use these ideas? First, audit your behavior, not just your budget. Track your spending for a month. Notice the emotional patterns. Are you buying things to feel better, to impress others? Awareness is the first step toward change. Second, redefine wealth for yourself. Stop measuring success by what other people can see. Start measuring it by what you've saved, what you've invested, and how much freedom you're building. Third, define your enough. Write it down. What's the number that would make you feel secure, comfortable, free? Once you know it, protect it. Don't get pulled into the endless race for more. Fourth, prioritize time over money in your decisions. When facing a choice, ask, will this give me more control over my time or less? Let that guide you. Fifth, Build your buffer. Aim for 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. Avoid high-interest debt. Invest in a diversified way that lets you sleep at night, even when markets drop. These aren't complicated, but they're powerful. Here's the most liberating truth in this entire book. You don't need to beat the market. You don't need to be brilliant. You don't need to be glizient. You don't need to get lucky. You just need to be reasonable, patient, and consistent. Financial peace doesn't come from having the most. It comes from needing less than you have, from controlling your time, from knowing what enough looks like and having the discipline to stop there. Money is a tool, not a scoreboard, not a measure of your worth. A tool that, used wisely, can buy you the most valuable thing in the world, freedom. So stop chasing what looks impressive. Start building what feels sustainable, because in the long run, the quiet millionaire beats the flashy spender every single time. If ideas like this are helpful, subscribe for more book breakdowns that can change how you think and live. New videos every week. Now go build your version of enough.